Hi, boys and girls. So for these activities, we're going to go through this lesson 27 fairly quickly. It is one of the easier ones, and I would like to prioritize our lessons since we have such little time left. So we're going to kind of breeze by this whole lesson 27. It's fairly easy. Okay, so this one is just comparing weights. So what it's asking you to do is to grab a cup, a bag of flour, a can, and a straw, and talk about what is the lightest and what is the heaviest. So you might not have these objects at home, which is completely fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some objects that I have right on my desk. Okay, so we're going to compare. What do you think is lighter? This piece of paper, this book, this whole book, or this pen? Okay, so we are comparing this piece of paper, this book, and this pen. What do you think is lighter? Okay, so I want you to grab objects like that around your house and compare the weights. What is lighter? What is heavier? Focus on those words, lighter and heavier. So if you think this is the lightest object, you are correct. The piece of paper is the lightest. What do you think is the heaviest? Awesome. This book would be the heaviest. Yeah, so for our activity, that's exactly what it's asking us to do. It just wants you to explain it. Okay, what do you think would be the heaviest? What do you think would be the lightest? So for the purpose of turning this into our dojo, I want you to put an L on what do you think would be the lightest. Okay, next to the object, and I want you to put an H next to what you think would be the heaviest next to the object. So for example, out of the bag of flour, the cup, the can, and the straw, I think the bag of flour would be the heaviest. So I'm going to put an H on that. Okay, so just like that, comparing your objects. Okay, for the next page, very, very similar. It's asking you the same questions, but in this one, it actually wants you to circle. Okay, so it says, give each pair a book, a crayon, and a feather. Have each child hold the book in one hand and a crayon in the other. Which do they think is heavier? Encourage the pair to... Okay, so you can either have a pair to do this or not, but for our activity, for our purposes, I just want you to circle what is heavier and put an X on what is lighter. Okay, so I'm going to write it over here. So the heavy, you're going to circle, and the lighter, you're going to put an X on it. Okay, just like that. Okay, and for our last activity, encourage the statements such as, the jug of milk is heavier than the juice box. Have children circle 3 objects that are lighter than a gallon of milk. So all you need to do is circle 3 objects that are lighter than a gallon of milk. Now the main focus in these 3 objects is to use those words, lighter, heavier, and compare one to the other. So if we were in class, I would exactly do that. I would give you a piece of paper and I would give you a book in the other hand and ask you to put them both in your hands and see what is lighter, the piece of paper or the book. Yeah, so you could do that around the house to kind of really understand, because this whole lesson is about that, is comparing the different weights, comparing what is lighter to what is heavier. Have fun with it. Go around the house and find some things of what do you think, or just by looking at it, what do you think would be heavier? Like, do you think my computer would be heavier than this table? There's a wooden table. What do you think? Things like that. Just practice the whole idea of what is lighter and what is heavier. Have fun with it.